Another frustrating night for Oklahoma's defense. I'm Ryan Aber from NewsOK.com and the Oklahoman here with fellow OU beat writer Joe Mussatto. And Joe, the final here, 55-40. But, yes, Oklahoma came out with a win, but not a whole lot of positive things to talk about on that defensive side of the ball for the Sooners.
No, not at all, and especially coming off what they did last weekend against Oklahoma State. It was probably a win in the most embarrassing fashion I think this defense could have had. Kansas, racking up more than 500 yards of offense. They scored as much today as they have in the previous 5 meetings combined against OU, so nothing was going right for the OU defense. It was just more of the same that we've seen.
Yeah, and the one thing that Oklahoma's defense had been able to do for a lot of the season was slow down the run game, but not much of that today. Puka Williams, the freshman running back from Kansas, he's fantastic, but 252 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaged almost 17 yards per carry. And OU a lot of times just didn't have a way to bring him down, broke a lot of tackles. It seemed like at sometimes that Oklahoma's will to bring him down just wasn't there.
No, I mean, you saw a few times where they would try to throw him down instead of, wrap up and tackle him, and he just sprung free and kept running. And, credit to him, like you said, he's one of the best freshman running backs in college football and especially in the Big 12. But what he did against this Oklahoma defense was just not a good look for the Sooners.
Yeah, and Oklahoma, that performance on that side of the ball concerning given what looms ahead for the Sooners, which is West Virginia next Friday in Morgantown with a Big 12 title berth on the line. Lincoln Riley said this defense can tackle better, can get better. And honestly, I thought they tackled better a week ago. Their problems were just with everything else. Tonight they couldn't tackle for anything. And all of those problems that you look at over the last few weeks for the Sooners just seems like they're going to be magnified against an offense with Will Grier, David Sills, and the weapons that the Mountaineers have, even if they did lose today.
Yeah, I mean, what this does is sort of set up OU for, if they can somehow stop West Virginia, all of this is going to be forgotten. No one's going to remember what they did against Kansas. A lot of people will remember it, but in the minds of fans, I think it'll be forgiven if they're able to somehow stop West Virginia. It's a short week. The defense has a ton to figure out, and they haven't quite shown that they can do that. But I mean, it's basically a Big 12 play-in game next Friday.
And there are two sides to this game, and tonight Oklahoma's offense did have a lot of positives go for it. They did lose Trey Sermon early in the game, but Kennedy Brooks, once again, fantastic, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns on 25 carries. He was really good. It's really their only healthy running back. TJ Pledger was suited up, but was banged up some. And Kyler Murray, once again, really good, 99 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground, threw for 272 and 2 touchdowns. But every mistake that this Oklahoma offense makes, and they made 2 tonight, Brooks fumbled, Kyler Murray threw an interception, gets magnified because of what's going on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they've got to score on almost every possession, but Kennedy Brooks, I thought he was great tonight. He probably stood out, even with what Kyler could do. I thought he stood out as much as anybody, especially when you have Trey Sermon go down. At the depth chart at the beginning of the season, you look back to that Florida Atlantic game, it's Rodney Anderson, it's Trey Sermon, it's Marcellus Sutton. Brooks doesn't even show up. All those guys are out with injuries. TJ Pledger was out, so it was all Kennedy Brooks tonight, and he really shouldered that load well.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up here from Owen Field, but the Sooners will be back in action on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, at 7 o'clock in Morgantown, West Virginia. But you can stick with NewsOK.com every day and every morning in the Oklahoman for the best OU coverage anyway.